Okay, for this assignment, study of an object, I'm going to show you guys how to put your best 16 pictures into the grid template that I provided to you guys right here. The first thing you may want to do ahead of time is download the grid template. And I'm going to do that by going to the open in a new window. And then I should get the download arrow in my upper right hand side. So I'm going to get that downloaded. It's going to be there when I need it. For me, it automatically opens up in Photoshop, which may not be the case for you guys, especially if you're editing at home, you're going to be using photopea.com. So if we go back to Google Classroom and we look at the assignment, let me just cancel out of that. There we go. Your assignment is really to take 25 pictures. You want to concentrate on one object. My slideshow here is going to give you some examples of what kids have done in the past. And as you guys can see, they used a full range of things like musical instruments, binoculars, an eyelash curler, anything with a really interesting shape. This is a stapler. These are some toys. Keychains work really well. Shoes are really popular subjects too. So after you've taken your 25 pictures and you have looked at your object from as many different angles as possible, maybe change the different lighting scenarios that you're shooting under, like maybe daylight or use a flashlight, mix it up. Then you want to put aside your best 16 out of the 25 pictures that you took. You really want to make sure that your images are in sharp focus. In the classroom, we're using Adobe Bridge and we're using the magnifying loop to look very closely at what is sharp. So I would really, as you're choosing your best pictures, zoom in and really look to see that you have an area of sharp focus. And in this shot, I do. So that's something that I would put aside as one of my best pictures if it's got an area of nice sharp focus. Okay, so when you're ready and you've chosen your best 16, then you're going to go to Photoshop or Photopea. I've already downloaded my template here, so I'm ready to open that in either program. So I'm just going to go to photopea.com. In fact, I've got the link popping up all the time for me because I use it often. And as I go to File, Open, I'm going to navigate to my Downloads folder, which is here. And you'll see that I have a folder that says Grid of 16 or Grid of 16 template. Yours probably looks more like large icons. So I'm going to open that up. And I already laid this out for you guys using grid lines. When you go to the View menu, you have some commands that help you create the guides. I actually did the Add Guides command, and I was able to divide this 8x10 document into 16 equal boxes. So that's already set up for you. But if you want to know how to do it on your own, you can add guides from the View menu. The other way that I do it is I show my rulers. Control R shows your rulers. Anytime you're using your move tool, you have the ability to click and drag guides down from the ruler, just like I'm doing now. So that's another way to add guides, by clicking in the ruler and dragging down or dragging to the left or the right. But this is already set up for you guys, so there really isn't any need for you to set up the grid if you're using the template. So I already know that I have one picture that I want to use. I'm going to go to File, Open. I'm going to navigate to my images where my best of 16 shots are. I actually have it in the photography shortcut folder. If you guys have these in Google Drive, you're actually going to have to download those 16 pictures. Unless they're already sitting in your pictures folder, then you may not have to, right? If they're also here, maybe you put them in your pictures folder. I know I have stuff in my photography shortcut folder, so I'm going to go to period 1. I actually borrowed the work of my student Gillette earlier today. This is actually a very different assignment here, but it is a still life like we're doing for the grid of 16. She just is focusing on a number of things. So I'm using it as my example today for you guys. So when I open up my shot, remember there's a number of ways for you to get your images into other documents. One way to do it is to click and drag your background layer, touch it to the tab of the other document. In Photopea, when you release that, it'll drop right in. So what I have now is my background layer and then the picture that I just dropped in. And I'm going to repeat that process 6 times. But what you'll find is you have to shrink your images down. In other words, we need to do free transforming because otherwise it's not going to fit in the box. So the edit menu is going to take you to the free transform command, or you can use the Alt Control T command that you're seeing here in Photopea. Photoshop, it's just Control T, but in Photopea, it's a little bit different. So if I free transform it, I'm going to get a bounding box around my entire picture. I should be able to click and drag that in. Now you can recenter this if it's coming off the page when you're resizing. So I'm just clicking, fitting that image as closely as I can into that first box. And I'm trying to match up the edges to those grid lines that I made. Once I'm done free transforming and the boxes and the images are fitting in the boxes, I click the enter button, the bounding box goes away, I'm ready to add the next picture. So let's just say that I've added all of my pictures, I got my 16 in, then you're going to save your image as a PSD file, and that's going to automatically go to your downloads folder. So when you're in assignment 25, you will be able to add that file. You'll have to navigate to your downloads folder to find your grid of 16 in Photopea. So basically what you're doing is you're just dragging your pictures in. Then you guys are going to edit, free transform. That's going to give you the ability to resize each layer and fit them in the boxes properly. Okay, don't forget if you have questions to add them to the comments or send me a private comment in Google Classroom. Have fun with that.